Hello and welcome to
Hello, hello?
RetroSlot episode 64. Had a little miscue there. I forgot to unmute my own voice, but we're here. It's only been 6 weeks, so I feel like we're fresh and rejuvenated and
Mm-hmm.
ready to podcast after having gotten beat down by this week's game, Hagani, which I can't wait to talk about. But I may never play again.
We're DTP, down to podcast, right?
Down to podcast. That's right.
As the kids would say, yeah.
As always, it's good to see you, Jay. How you been?
Good, good, busy. I mean, God, what the reason so one of the episodes that we missed was because Briar had a snafu like last minute, right?
Yeah.
And then the next I believe the next episode we were celebrating my son's birthday. We were at a little resort thing for that. And then here we are. But the kiddo done with school and all that stuff, so he's
Oh,
been in
that's
and out
right.
of, like, camp and stuff, so I've been hanging out with him a bunch. I made well, I you ever been to, like, a trampoline park?
Yeah. Well, no. I've seen them though.
I've seen them from afar.
Yeah.
Well, he's 7 now, so he's getting kind of to the age where that stuff is appropriate and, like,
Sure.
learning how to throw your body around and all that stuff, so we got, like they had, like, a summer pass, so it, like, lasts the whole summer. And the first time we went, I just kind of let him do his thing and made sure that he didn't injure himself too badly. And then the second time, I thought it would be a great idea to join him.
Hmm.
They had like a parent pass.
Yeah.
So I did that. And, I used to do all sorts of flips and stuff when I was a kid. So
Yeah. Sure.
I was doing some of those a little bit and I
Those
did
nice
gymnastics
bendy
and stuff.
bones and joints of the
Oh
child.
god, I did not warm up, I didn't stretch, it's just a terrible like, it's been so long since I've been on, like, a trampoline, and these are, like, serious trampolines, right?
Yeah.
And, I could just feel my spine compressing every
Oh,
every time I would bounce. I was like, "This is not really made for, sub 200-pound adults." Uh,
yeah. I remember even in my 20s it was fine, but man, if I even think about it, like thinking about it now, I'm just like that is just a spinal injury waiting to happen.
yeah, yeah.
And
I didn't have
I
anything
got a very questionable back.
yeah. I didn't have anything major happen, no like dumb mistakes. It was
Good.
just my foot was sore for the next 2 weeks, like in a spot that it's not normally, and I have like carpal tunnel stuff going on. I think I pinched a nerve or
Oh
something.
God.
Yeah, it's just minor stuff, but it's just I don't think I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna cancel that. So
Yeah,
I
I
just
mean
like
that
hang out
seems
with
like a
him.
good thing to watch from afar.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The kid is gonna love it,
Now I
right?
know.
Like
Yeah.
they're all they're all bendy and bouncy, and they could get up from a pretty big hit. But man, shit just hurts for a long time when you're old.
Yeah. I'm not used to it. But we
No,
have with GCX coming up, we decided to make it a big family vacation, so we're like gearing up for like a whole week at Disney and stuff. So
that's awesome. When do you leave?
on the 30th. So it's
30th.
that like, Sunday.
Okay.
So a couple of weeks, 3 weeks. How about
We
you?
got
How have you
us.
been, man?
Pretty good. Honestly, pretty mediocre actually. Like
Yeah.
as far as like the highlights of life and the low parts of life go, I've been pretty much in like kind of like a I wouldn't say a downward spiral, but I've been not at like
Downward
below the
slope.
median, right? And it's like
Sure.
it's not anybody's fault. It's just like a series of kind of poor events have happened lately
Hmm,
that
hmm.
nobody can help. These things just happen in life, but it's just been a bunch of shit. And uh, I've been trying to keep other people's spirits up. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, I feel like my spirits are a little bit on the low side, which I'm trying to work on. I'm trying to like, just I don't even know, like just kind of like
I swear we're like connected somehow, Briar, because the last week or two has been kind of a rough mental health
really,
territory for me too. Yeah, like with streaming and content creation and just the whole space. And so I literally was talking about it today on stream. Like I didn't stream yesterday. I was so for anybody who's never like streamed or anything, I don't know if you can relate to this, Briar, but sometimes you just want to like be by yourself. Sometimes you just want to
sure,
like kind of figure out what's going on, like kind of talk to yourself, figure out what's kind of ailing you and how to get out of it and stuff like that. And when you're a streamer, uh you ever like go to a party, or just the way that I liken this is you're feeling down and somebody invites you to a place with like 50, 100, 150 people, and they're all just staring at you and just not talking and listening to everything you have to say and like really intently, like you're not really in a space to do that. So when you're feeling kind of down, the thought of streaming is really tough because you're like, I have to face this, like, am I gonna face it head on? Am I gonna so I don't know. So
Yeah.
I'm relating to your is your stuff more like family related or is it mental
Yeah,
health stuff?
it's a lot of like family health stuff that has happened, like kind
Mm,
of to three people. Literally, like I got like three people dealing with some pretty heavy stuff right now,
mhm.
and it all kind of happened like bang, 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 and like you want to be there for everybody, but also it's like at some point you got to just like step away and be like, I need to just like not be
Sure,
dealing with this,
sure.
like so that like I can deal with it if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. So everybody's gonna get better. Everybody's gonna be okay.
That's good.
Everything's gonna be cool. But it's been a stressful few weeks.
Well,
Um,
all the love
but
to you, man, and the family and everything.
yeah, on the good side of that though is it has also been summer, so there has been like fun stuff happening. There's been golf. There's been kayaking. There's
Mhm.
been playing a lot of frisbee.
Just frisbee golf or like ultimate
Yes,
frisbee or just
no
okay.
ultimate, but just some tossing, just some friendly tossing of the frisbee, some
Sure.
friendly catch.
Yeah,
It's an underrated thing. Playing a little bit of frisbee,
sure.
kind of fun. We did play a little bit of frisbee golf, which I am just terrible at.
Yeah.
Just like absolutely god awful. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Like
if you watch somebody who's good at frisbee golf and like they kind of like take three steps forward and like turn their shoulders away from the hole and just like whip that frisbee and it just
mhm,
flies perfectly flat. It floats in the wind, kind of just like up
mhm.
and down and just lands. My shit, I take three steps forward with my back to the hole and I whip that frisbee and it goes sideways and then bang hits the ground as hard as possible and
Rolls
then
for a while.
rolls about 30 feet almost straight and then starts taking a left and then rolls another 30 feet into the woods.
I got you there. Yep, yep,
So
yep.
yeah, that's not my favorite sport. I think you know you got to invest some time to get good at shit. And sometimes you're like, I could invest some time to be good at this, or I could just never do this again. And I think I'm more toward like I'm already okay at golf, not good at golf, but okay, like I can play golf. Do I really want to spend the amount of time it's going to take to get good at a different type of golf? I don't know if I do. But just tossing a frisbee around, we actually invented a new sport called kayak frisbee, kayak ultimate frisbee, where
Okay.
you are on a kayak, obviously, and you have teams. Well, we had teams of two, but we were playing like ultimate frisbee from kayaks. There's a lot of getting wet involved. There's a lot of falling off kayaks involved. It was a good time. Good
That
time.
sounds fun.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, so there's still some good stuff going on. It's summertime, so it's just been a bit of a rough one. Anyhow,
Summertime.
we got like a ton of news because it's been a long time since we've done this podcast. There's a ton of news, some pretty exciting stuff too.
Mhm.
Also, we're going to talk about Hagani, video game that came out for the Super Nintendo in 1995. We get some revealing information, I think, from Jay. Maybe some stories that are bold-faced lies, I'd say.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Did you watch that video?
No, I didn't watch the video,
Okay.
but I'll take your word for it. And then we're going to talk about some pickups, and then finally we'll pick a game for next week so you guys can play along, and we'll talk about the game together next week. So, news? What do we got for news, Jay?
Yeah, so I'm trying to get my brain to go back about 6 weeks when I put some of this stuff on here at the top. Capcom is releasing they already did
Yeah.
uh a new website for their 40th anniversary, and there's like free retro games and stuff that you can play on the browser. Capcom games, which is super cool.
Yeah, this is neat.
Um, yeah, it's Capcom Town is what it's called. So captown.capcom.com. and it's this cool like isometric looking city, and you can choose different things, learn about stuff, play games. I don't know, it's kind of cool. Happy 40th anniversary, Capcom, right?
Yeah, I mean, Capcom, I'd say throughout my life has been I'd say one of the best video game developers kind of consistently throughout. They've had their kind of low times, I'd say, in like the 2005 through 2015 era, probably
Sure.
around there. But like in the Nintendo days, in the Super Nintendo days, I'd say the PlayStation 1 days, PlayStation 2, I'd say. And then now they're really having a resurgence. They're a can't miss studio. It feels like right now. So it's, you know, they're a corporation, and I try not to get too emotionally attached to, megacorps.
Mm.
But still, they're responsible for some of my favorite video games of all time, and it's always fun to see them reflect on that kind of stuff. And this is kind of neat. There's a bunch of games you can play: Street Fighter games, Mega Man games, Final Fight.
Have they had many new IPs in the last decade?
New IPs. They got that new. It's Dino Crisis with another name, but it's like a what is that called?
Not
I can't.
Monster Hunter.
No. Monster Hunter's not a new IP. It feels new to some people in the U.S. because it
Sure.
just recently became very popular with Monster Hunter World. I can't remember what the name of that Dino Crisis looking game is, but you get like mech suits, and then like the waves of dinosaurs come out of like some kind of portal in the sky. Like,
Oh, I haven't heard about it.
that's crazy. I wish I could remember the name of it. What else? New IPs. I'm sure they've had some. I just can't think of any.
Mhm. Let us know. Tag us in Twitter. Let us know
Yeah,
what IPs we're missing.
yeah.
So we've talked about GB Studio in the past. Well, they're creating a physical, or they already have at this point. It's for 6 weeks late. Um, they created a physical and digital magazine that you can get for as little as $3. Um, or the digital edition, I guess, is 7.50. You can support it for $3, and you can get the physical edition for $20. I imagine this is per month. But it's like it talks about what people are doing with GB Studio, like new games, kind of talking about some of their more successful stuff. It's supposed to be kind of like a Nintendo Power for
Yeah,
GB Studio, so you can check that out
love it.
on their website. I believe
That's
it's
awesome. Their first issue, they kind of emulated the first issue of Nintendo Power as well. Like kind of like the claymation.
gbstudiocentral.com. Yeah,
Yeah, this looks cool. I might subscribe for a bit. Check it out. I'm not that
this
big into the Game Boy, but
sure.
it looks cool enough that I want to check it out anyway.
Yeah, people are doing some. We got some more Game Boy news a little later, but I don't know. There's cool stuff going back into that. So the June Nintendo Switch online library games that were announced were NES, The Mystery Tower,
Taking
Super
this
Nintendo,
retro thing a bit too far, maybe.
maybe. Super Nintendo came out with Harvest Moon, which is a very expensive SNES cart.
Cool.
Also for Game Boy, they got Kirby Tilt and Tumble, Blaster Master Enemy Below, both of which um Tilt and Tumble uses like a gyroscope, so I imagine you can use the switch and stuff, which is pretty cool. And
Yeah,
then Blaster Master Enemy Below, I haven't played that before.
me neither.
I think it's a sequel to Blaster Master potentially.
Yeah, I don't know.
Second or third one. That's for regular Game Boy. Yeah,
So not Game Boy Color, so it's a black and white.
I believe so. Yeah,
Okay.
I almost picked that up at the retro store, but it was pretty beat up, so I didn't.
Yeah.
Um, they're creating a documentary about Hideo Kojima, which is pretty
I can't
cool.
wait to see it. I'll watch this
Yeah,
absolutely. Great.
he he seems like a nice guy, but like also, you know, he's really smart and knows it. So there's hopefully they can you know piece it together in a way that's respectful. I'm sure they will. But
Yeah. Yeah, I would watch that 100%. I feel like some of my favorite genre, one of my favorite genres is documentaries about like uh creative people who are like
sure,
killing it, and
yeah,
this guy definitely falls into that category. And like I'm okay with seeing the dirt too. People aren't perfect, nobody's perfect, and
sure.
a lot of times, unless people do something real shitty, it usually doesn't affect my view on them too much,
Right.
like
Is I was trying to think of like games that he made that I like, and there's not a whole lot to be honest. Because I'm
really.
not. I'm
Not a
not big
big
on like
Metal Gear
no,
person,
I'm
huh?
not big on like did he do Silent Hill and stuff too? Trying to
No,
remember.
I don't believe so.
Somebody else. Okay.
He did Zone of the
Um
Enders. He did I don't know, what's that complete list? Let me see if I can Google that real quick.
we
Talk.
did Death Stranding and stuff too, which I haven't played. A lot of it's just kind of out there, I guess. I
You
should
know,
see what
it's like if you Google his video game library. Oh, he did Police Knots. He did Snatcher for the Sega CD. No, nothing.
Oh, he did Silent Hill. Yeah, that was
Oh,
correct.
he did. He did. Okay. No, he did
He did
Silent Hills, which I think is
Oh, canceled horror game. Okay,
yeah.
never mind.
PT also canceled.
Yeah.
Mostly he's known for that Metal Gear Solid and now most recently Death Stranding. But he did do
PT.
Snatcher. Snatcher was amazing.
Yeah, I haven't played that either. It's like a CD, right? Yeah.
That's worth playing, Jay. Honestly, we should put it on the list of possible games to play.
Sure. It's an expensive game.
Yeah, but you know.
Yeah, I know. The PT game too is really interesting for me because I believe was it PlayStation 3 where you could get the demo?
PlayStation 4.
PlayStation 4, yeah, you could get the demo and but then it went off the store. So
Right.
people were selling their PS4s that had it on there for like a huge premium.
Yeah.
Probably still are. Pretty
Probably
interesting.
are. I don't know if there's any way to play it other than that. I'm sure there is. I bet you could figure it out, right?
I think there's some remakes and stuff out there because I've seen streamers streaming it.
Okay. It was pretty cool. I mean, it was just like you just like walked around in this hallway, but like different stuff would trigger based on like I don't know, like if you picked up a phone or if
Sure.
you it was kind of neat.
Yeah, I think there's a like a newer remake of it.
Okay.
Somebody made something, put it on PC or something. Um, so the community is coming together to try and recreate slash repair Pokemon Garden, which was a Flash only game, and I don't mean like flashing a cartridge. I mean Flash, as in the early 2000s website
Macro
technology that
media.
I made a handful of websites out of, and it sucked. It was so like yeah, it was cool because it was like motion and everything, but man, it sucked. So I don't know if there's any updates because this was 6 weeks ago, June it was like a month ago when I put it on here, June 3rd, and so I don't know if there's any, updates on this. I was
This
gonna
is
kinda
only
check it
available
out.
in Japan as well.
Right.
Okay.
Uh, just quickly scanning his Twitter. I don't see any new updates yet, but it's cool. I don't know much about the game other than, um, it was an official Gen 3 Japanese only game. That was just yeah, they lost it to time. So I don't think it's like a mainline Pokemon game, as far as I know, but there's like a whole video on it and everything too, which is pretty cool. And they're asking for people if you have a PC somehow that still has access to like the temporary files
Oh,
that
then you want the
you can like
files?
submit the data. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. Because if it would like cached the Flash page, you can still access it somehow. Pretty cool. So if you have like an old PC, anyways. Thought that was interesting. The next story is kind of ridiculous. Somebody robbed a convenience store with an NES zapper.
Fucking legend.
He colored it black,
Yeah,
but
you did.
it still had the orange trigger.
Well, you didn't want to like mess up that sweet clicking action, you know?
Yeah. Obviously, he was unsuccessful. The funny thing about it is that he looks like he's from Team Rocket. He's got like purple hair.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
for Pokemon.
Like I
I don't
wasn't
know.
surprised to see this mugshot, honestly.
Yeah. He
It
looks
didn't
like
shock me.
yeah, he looks like he's surprised he got caught. You know what I mean? Like
Like, how dare you arrest me? Oh man. This
armed
guy.
robbery with a
Hell yeah.
deadly weapon. He was charged with armed robbery with a deadly weapon and petty larceny.
He was successful at robbing the store for around $300 before he got caught.
Was it
So
worth it?
he got the money, but they caught him in the end. He was later apprehended in a nearby Dollar General store parking lot and still had the zapper on his person.
I just picture somebody throwing the zapper like into a nearby lake or something, you know?
Wait, he's lucky he didn't get shot.
Yeah, no,
This dude,
seriously,
I think prison is probably the best thing that could have happened to this guy.
probably.
What
Like,
the hell?
I feel bad for folks that feel so desperate they gotta do that stuff, but man. Link to the mugshot, please. It's on time extension. I'm sure you can look it up. It's from June 4th. I'll just
Yeah.
post it in chat.
Oofa. I like how the police like put the evidence tape around it so it looks like it's like through the trigger. You know how
Yeah.
they'll do that to
Yeah.
like
Yeah, the zip tie, yeah.
oh, this poor bastard, they're gonna throw the book at him.
Yeah.
No ducks
The
were harmed, apparently.
uh, I can't remember if we talked about this. The 3DS had, like, an update, right? And it was supposed to
Yes.
lock down, the handhelds from emulation, but the community has already come together to unlock them.
Yeah,
Surprise, surprise.
right. In other unsurprising news.
Uh,
Like, why would you even bother doing this? Why spend resources doing this? Like,
yeah,
you know what's gonna happen.
right. They did say, like, there's, like, if you have updated it, do this. If you haven't, do this. If you have, so
Yeah.
it's here. So now, starting on the next piece, this is news that I put in there the other night. So somebody put Doom on Atari. My
Like a
first question,
2600. Wow.
yeah, my first question was why.
Oh no,
My
the
second,
XL. Okay, XL, XE.
my second response was this looks awful. But my
Well,
third response was, oh, that's kind of cool.
I mean,
It's so bad. There's like a video of it at the bottom of the page too.
yeah. I mean, it looks like Doom on an Atari. Like it's kind of what you would expect it to look like, I think. But
If
it's
this
impressive
happened
that
in,
they got it to work,
yeah,
honestly.
yeah,
Whoops.
it's hard to tell even what the hell's going on. Um, the thing is, if this happened, like,
I don't
this
think
is
it's
one of the
that hard
reasons
to tell what's going on. I mean, this is clearly Doom in like
the
three
walls are like
colors.
bright ass yellow.
Well, I mean, they don't have enough pixels to like do like textures and
I know,
stuff.
no, I know, I'm not. Uh,
But
they
I mean,
still have the
this is
little.
clearly somebody. Well, to be honest, it looks more like Wolfenstein with the level layout, kind of.
Sure, sure.
But I mean, it is clearly like a first-person shooter, and you can see the imps. Like you can make those out as imps.
Sure.
I don't know. I think this is pretty impressive.
No, it's
I think
impressive.
I
It's
think
just,
you're a hater.
it is impressive, but it's like, why? I don't know. It's fun. All right. I thought that was interesting. So it's been a while since we've talked about Polymega.
Right. Since the last show, probably.
Now they're gonna be taking Atari down with them. They have teamed up with Atari, and Atari has made a sizable investment.
Yeah.
As
Over
about
$5
five and a
million.
half,
Yeah.
almost 5.5 million. You know, I think this is like their side. This is their pivot from the VCS, right? So the VCS didn't really hit all that great. They basically fire sailed them. Now they're trying to figure out how can we get our games on hardware, and they're looking at Polymega. It potentially could be a mutual beneficial relationship. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe some of the newer leadership of Atari can have some help for Polymega, but man, I don't have the best outlook for this personally.
Well, okay, so I think I'm a little more hopeful about this because Polymega I think did make some cool hardware here. And they did make some cool software. Like the software that runs on the Polymega
Sure.
hardware, I think is actually pretty
The
cool.
UI, yeah,
Yeah, the way it organizes your game library, the way like you put a physical disc into this thing and then it like saves it to a hard drive so then and then you have this so it digitizes your physical collection so that you don't have to risk scratching discs to play your games. Like the controllers are really nice. I haven't played it, but reports are that the controllers are really nice. It feels very authentic, even though it's not authentic hardware. It feels very authentic. The experience is very good. I think the idea of being able to use cartridges, like use your own cartridges, use your own media is good. I think there were a few things that really fucked this project up, and that was like the wicked outlandish price for this. It just got out of hand, and I think
yeah.
that was, you know, and also the fact that they couldn't produce any of them, and that Walmart deal fell through, so that you couldn't find any of them. It was like the business end of things that got out of hand, but the actual hardware I think is pretty cool. The software is pretty cool. They are going to bring the Polymega app and Polymega Remix to the Atari VCS. So any owners of the Atari VCS will get that new functionality added to their machine, which I think is actually pretty valuable, because that Atari VCS was basically just a PC in an Atari shaped box, which is kind of neat. It just was, expensive. If you're one of the lucky ones, you got one for like $100 or $200. I think you're probably feeling pretty good about that purchase.
So I agree with you there. I mean, it could be a value add for folks that have already bought one.
Yeah.
However, is this one of those things that you think is actually going to convince new people to buy a VCS or a
No,
Polymega?
and I don't think they're going to produce a new VCS, but they may produce something together. Polymega and Atari producing something together, I think, could be valuable. Uh,
Sure.
they're also going to add Atari 2600 and 7800 compatibility to the Polymega, which I think is a value add for Polymega people who, obviously, like Atari. I feel like the Atari community is it's like a step. It's a step older than the NES community. It just doesn't feel like it's that popular anymore. But still, hey, there's some cool games on Atari, and like it's cool that new hardware will be able to play Atari cartridges. But if Atari and Polymega could get together and produce something, I feel like Polymega is capable of producing something that's high quality. I feel like new Atari,
Yeah.
is capable of producing something high quality. I feel like a partnership, instead of getting these like shitty, $40 Atari consoles that you see in like Best Buy or Walmart these days, to get something that was a little more high quality, this partnership could work. To me, like I could see a future in my head where these two companies, yes, they both had some serious problems, but I could see, Polymega makes the hardware, Atari provides the games. I could see something cool happening here.
I'm just trying to think, like, from a hardware technological standpoint, it would be cool to see something that can like read Atari carts and do something with it, right? Like,
Yeah,
I agree with you there. However, the business side of my brain is going, is there really a market for that? Like,
yeah.
where are y- I just don't see like new consumers getting into the Atari age, mainly because the Atari games just aren't great. From like a blanket, like there are some solid titles,
Yeah.
but my brain is going, would it be better money spent to like remake these games
Well,
into
like
like
something like the Atari, was it the Atari 50th collection?
they're starting to do that, but not a they're
What
still
was that
kind
called?
of
Was it 50th?
the yeah, the anniversary collection.
Yeah.
But that wasn't like remaking the games, right? They just
Yeah, no, they
made
remade some of them. They remade
some of
them.
them.
They modernized them, and they did a fantastic job. I
If they could do
really,
that with more of them, I think that's probably a better use of their resources, would be my opinion.
um, yeah, I could see that too. I would like that too. Um, I would like Atari to, get back into publishing new stuff. Uh, but like for the purpose of this, like I could see this working. Like it's not gonna. I agree with you. It's not gonna be like a $1 billion seller, but you know, it's $5 million. It's not $1 billion investment. It's like
Right.
let's let's see what happens from this. I think I could see a world where these two companies could make something cool, like a little like imagine like a 2600 made by Polymega. It'd be a lot nicer than one of these pieces of shit boxes that you see at like Walmart or Target now, right?
Right.
These
Yeah.
Atari, 500 games in one boxes
Hmm.
that the joystick is hardly works. The thing it still plugs in via, the RCA jacks. Even though your modern TVs don't have those jacks anymore, like those things are just terrible. So if like Polymega were to produce something like that for Atari, I could see that being cool.
I'll stay hopeful as much as I can. I mean, I do feel like the new Atari leadership is growing more trust,
Yeah,
and they're
definitely.
doing some pretty cool stuff within the last couple of years. So,
Yeah.
I'm sure they're a lot smarter than I am. Maybe they see something I don't, but maybe they have plans that they're not really, ready to announce yet and stuff with the hardware makers. Maybe they have better relationships with manufacturers and stuff that they can hook Polymega up, so it's not a huge deal there
Yeah.
too.
I mean, even from like baseline, just what they said they're gonna do, where they're gonna add Polymega app support to the VCS, and they're gonna add cartridge support for the 2600 and 7800 to the Polymega. I think that's a win for everybody. Like flat, nothing else has to happen. That alone is a win.
Okay,
I think.
I'm with you there.
All right, what's next?
Somebody ported The Legend of Zelda to the SNES with
Yeah,
better
I've
speeds
been
and frame
watching
rate.
this.
I thought that was pretty cool.
This is
Um,
really
it,
cool.
it's a little different. We've covered one before that was like kind of a side make where they like had a different protagonist and it like used the Link to the Past sprites and everything. This is like just the original NES game on the SNES, but they took a lot of the frame rate issues and stuff out. It's a work in progress. Um, I don't know if they have like a release date or anything. I think the dude's his name's Infidelity. He's just
Yeah,
currently working on it. This is like a brand new thing. So
yeah. Yeah, this is really cool though. I mean, it's just like, hey, there's gonna be like a slightly better version of The Legend of Zelda, and you're gonna be playing it on the SNES. Cool.
uh somebody created a new Metroid game on Genesis hardware. They're currently working on one anyways.
Yeah,
And there's some video and it looks very much like Super Metroid as far as the aesthetics,
yeah,
but it does have some of the Genesis color scheme. It's hard to describe,
yeah.
right? Um, kind of the dark
Imagine like
blues and
almost an
purples and stuff.
Earthworm Jim color
Yes,
palette.
a little bit. It's a darker theme
Yeah.
than Super Metroid. I don't know. They're currently working on it. I thought it was cool. I figured, Metroid, Sega, like, do you think this will get shut down or do you think they'll let this go? Because it's like a new adapt.
No, as soon as Nintendo finds about this, they're gonna definitely send it cease and desist. They shouldn't have mentioned this to anybody until it was done. As soon as it becomes downloadable, if it ever becomes downloadable, I suggest you get it right away because Nintendo's lawyers are gonna be on this like shit on a Pringle.
I have not heard that one before. I like it.
Well, trust me, you
Uh,
don't want shit on your Pringle.
it's their next new flavor. Uh,
Fully
we
built
were talking
train.
about Game Boy a minute ago. You know the whole Grimace Shake bullshit that's going around right now, right? Have you
No,
seen
I'm
that
not
at all?
familiar.
Okay, so there's a Grimace Shake
Is
or the
it
Grimace.
grape
I think
flavored?
it's
Is it purple?
it's purple.
Okay. Is it grape flavored?
I don't know
What
I don't know what
flavor
flavor
is
it is.
Grimace?
It's yeah, it's like Grimace's birthday, right? And there's this social media. You need to like look it up on TikTok, right?
Oh.
The whole thing is like somebody drinks the Grimace shake, and then all sorts of shit happens, like Briar or Blair Witch type stuff.
Oh, okay.
Or it's pretty horrifying. Like people are pretty clever with it.
Wait. So
Um,
is there really a Grimace shake, or is this just
there's
a
a Grimace shake, yes,
okay? You
but
can go to
people are
McDonald's and buy a Grimace shake. Okay.
yes, people are basically making fun of it though.
Okay.
But they made a Game Boy Color game. I believe McDonald's did, and it's called Grimace's Birthday. Um, and then also people have made physical copies of this game. You see Grimace like skateboarding and stuff.
That's awesome.
Um, I don't know. It actually looks decent for like a, you know, just little game that somebody made.
Yeah. So this is supposed to be played in your browser, but it will function on actual hardware, like real Game Boy Color. And people are dumping the ROM and putting them on actual cartridges.
Like Analog Pocket as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Somebody somebody made like a physical cart with a physical box and everything. It was really cool. I would
This
like
is
to buy
fun.
one.
This looks
Yeah. I don't
great.
know. I thought it was kind of silly.
Yeah. I'm way into this. I'm gonna download this.
The game of the week is
Yeah.
Grimace's Birthday.
Grimace.
Uh,
That's fun. Thanks, McDonald's. You only give us good things and heart disease.
have you seen the pictures about how they used to show or like the old McDonald's restaurants in the 80s and 90s where they're all colorful and bright and vibrant and
Yeah.
play places everywhere and all that stuff. And now McDonald's are like corporate buildings basically.
Yeah, they have
It's
like
like
wood interiors and it's like
McDonald's grew up and got sad. Like
yeah, the playpens are gone.
No, our local one actually has one.
Really? Is yours old?
No, it's like brand new.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
And
I'm
it's a
glad the
really nice,
playpens are
like,
back.
play structure too. It's like 4 stories high.
Okay.
It's actually solid. Yeah. We don't live in a nice area either, which is funny. This is like a nicer McDonald's. So there's a Nintendo Direct. Did you see the Nintendo Direct, Briar?
Yes, I did.
No Golden Sun update, but one of my favorite games of all time, Super Mario RPG
Oh, dang it.
Remake.
That's right. Holy crap. We haven't talked about this yet.
No, yeah, that's why it's exciting.
Yeah.
Coming in November. It looks really good.
Yeah, and it's coming in November. It's like right around the corner.
It is.
Yeah. I'm actually pretty excited for this because we played this game for this show, and I said, "Yeah, I'm definitely gonna play some more of this." Then didn't play any more of it. So now I'm actually pretty excited. I'm definitely gonna pick this up for the Switch and play it.
I'm really hoping they're gonna have a physical edition because I would really like
Oh,
that
is that in
physical
question?
edition. It's just a remake. Hold on.
Oh, shit.
Doing a quick search.
I
Hey,
mean,
$60 though. Holy crap. Okay.
they've released a bunch of Legend of Zelda
Yeah,
remakes.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you can pre-order it at GameStop for
Okay.
$60. See,
Yeah, I'm
is
definitely
it
gonna
still
check this out.
November?
I'm looking forward to this.
November 17th. I just prefer physical editions. It's just, I don't know. I like
Yeah,
knowing that I'm not gonna lose my stuff.
yeah, like your PT demo.
So there's some other stuff too that they announced that's like retro inspired.
Yeah.
And the Nintendo Direct was a bunch of stuff. So Princess Peach only has one game that she's the main protagonist in, right? Princess Peach, the DS game. There's a second one being worked on that's going to come out next year in 2024. It's unannounced or it's untitled, excuse me. But I thought, it was kind of fun that they're finally doing a second game. That's cool. The first one's actually really good. It's kind of a sleeper hit. Um the Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, which is the 3DS sequel to Luigi's Mansion, is getting a remake for Switch as well.
Okay.
Pikmin 1 and 2, the HD upgrades are available to purchase and download. I think they're like $30 a piece digitally, or you can get
Okay.
the physical one in September. There's like a set of both of them for $60 that's releasing in September, which is like a
Brandon Watts keep telling me that I gotta try these, so I'm gonna pick this up.
they're I mean, I don't know. I didn't get it.
Such a hater tonight.
No, I've I tried Pikmin 3 on the Wii U,
Uh-huh.
and it's not bad, right? But it's one of those kind of whimsical games. It's also kind of a puzzle
Yeah.
game. It's hard to describe. But some of it just it's hard not to just not take it seriously because it's just kind of really overly cutesy in some
Hmm.
places, and so it's hard for me to just like get over that sometimes.
Yeah, I have that
It's my
problem
own.
sometimes too, especially with Nintendo games.
There's like little dances and stuff they do. I don't know. It's not a bad game. It's just you have to be able to get over that stuff, I guess. Uh Metal Gear, we were talking about Metal Gear a little bit. What did it's supposed to be solid? What did I read or did you retype that to Dallas?
I did not. I was messing with you a little bit in this document, I will admit.
It said Metal Gear Dallas. I don't know. Metal Gear Solid Volume 1 coming in October. It's got 6 games. It's got like the 2 NES games, as well as the first few Metal Gear Solid games in the HD up remake type things, and then it's got like a couple of videos, digital book, and soundtrack for
Yeah.
$60 coming in October.
Is this coming physically or is this digital
I
only?
believe so. Yes, I
Yeah.
believe this is coming physically, but I
You
don't
gonna
know if
pick this
there's.
up? I don't think I'm gonna pick this up.
No, I'm not a big Metal Gear guy.
No.
I don't know. Maybe we need to do the original Metal Gear on this on the show one time.
Okay.
Just one time.
Just the one time.
Yeah, just one time. Um, these aren't necessarily retro games, but both Sonic and Super Mario Brothers are getting new games, side-scrolling games, kind of like 3D, 2D type vibes,
Yeah.
and both of them are gonna have 4-player co-op, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah. The quality difference between these two showings, I would say, was wide.
Really?
I thought so. I thought Super Mario Brothers Wonder looked fantastic. Like it really had. You speak of whimsy. You speak of like that Nintendo kind of.
Polish.
Yeah, it looked really. It looked fun. Like it was like, okay, that looks fun. I'm not the hugest Mario fan, but it's been a while since I got a brand new 2D Mario. I'd like to see what's going on here. Let's check this out. Sonic Superstars looked. Speaking of a Flash game, it didn't look great.
Really? Did you only look at the Lego adaptation part of it, or did you look at the regular trailer?
I think I looked at the regular trailer, the one that
I
they
didn't.
released on Nintendo's website the day that they showed of the Nintendo Direct.
Sure. Okay. Well, I didn't put the release dates in here, but I think within the next 6 months, probably, right? It's got to be
I don't
releasing.
remember.
I can look that up while you're covering the next thing.
Oh, okay. So this actually I thought was very cool. So anybody who's into retro emulation of any sort or frankly, new video gaming, 8BitDo makes very cool controllers. Whether it's like retro stuff like their Mega, what is this? The M30, which is like a kind of slash between a Sega Genesis or a Sega Saturn controller, or their Super Nintendo kind of looking ones, or their PlayStation looking ones. Now they make Microsoft ones. But this one is really cool. They're coming out with a new Neo Geo CD style wireless controller. And what's very cool about this is that this was kind of a unique controller in that the D-pad was kind of this like clicky thumb. It's hard to describe. It's not a D-pad as much as it's almost like a joystick for your thumb, but it is beloved. And 8BitDo is claiming that they nailed it. Like this thing is really accurate to the original Neo Geo hardware from back in the 90s. So people are really excited for this. It's currently available for pre-order. I think it comes out August 1st or something like that. And they've already got a bunch of different cool artwork that you can get for it based on King of the Fighters characters. And it's not that expensive. It can be used USB or wireless. It uses that like 8BitDo little wireless dongle. I'm really excited about this. As soon as I saw this, I immediately pre-ordered one because honestly, 8BitDo, in my experience, has made some amazing controllers, especially for retro stuff. And this one is so unique. That Neo Geo CD controller was so unique. It's so beloved. I can't wait to check this out. I'm really hoping they nail it here.
There's like different versions of it too. So the normal edition is $35, $34.99. These are coming out August 15th, it says.
August 15th.
There's also like what is that? Yagami?
Yeah,
edition?
they're all there's different versions based on different King of the
Right.
Fighters.
They're just $5 extra
characters.
too to get the other ones. So they're $40
Yeah.
for the other ones. That's
Yeah,
not
and
bad
one of
to
them
get, like,
is
a
my.
control. Yeah.
So there's that.
Her face is right next to that joystick.
Yeah. You can just kind of twiddle. Anyhow. This thing, I'll definitely be reviewing this once I get my hands on it, but I'm pretty excited about it. I hope they nail it. I really do.
That's awesome. Yeah. They do good stuff. I can't imagine it's going to be awful other than maybe like some drift or something, but
If they don't nail that stick, it's not going to be good. They got to really nail it because that is a very unique stick. But I mean, it's got like shoulder buttons. It's got 4 face buttons. So it's also gonna be usable for like a lot of different video games, right? It's like you're gonna be able to use this for Super Nintendo. You're gonna be able to use it for modern like 2D stuff. Like it really is gonna be. If they nail it, I think this thing could be really popular.
sure.
Even modern fighting games, Next, this one's a little bit weirder. Retro Fighters has made the Jab controller available for pre-order. It's USB or NES compatible. I want you to click on that link, Jay, and describe what you see.
Well, it looks like a PS4 controller, kinda,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it's got the 2 joysticks on the bottom,
Yeah,
and then
2
there's 2
analog
buttons on the
sticks.
side, but it looks kind of like a little piggy. Is that what you're looking for?
No, explain to me why an NES controller would be laid out with such a fashion. What is
Oh,
wrong with
the
this
controllers.
controller? Yeah,
Well, it's
it's got
saying
two
that
analog sticks.
the analog sticks can be used as buttons.
Yeah,
So, you can, like, flick them, right, to register the buttons would be my guess.
yeah,
I
you
mean,
could, or
you're
you could just
telling me
hit a
you
button. There's only
you're
2 fucking buttons on the NES controller.
you're telling me you haven't played any of the NES games on the Switch with the joystick. You only ever use the D-pad.
Yeah, no, I don't use the D-pad on the Switch because there isn't one. A,
Well, there is
and
on the Pro controller.
and B, that one sucks. So I do actually use an 8-bit do. I
Okay.
I use an 8-bit do. I think it's called the Pro controller. The 8-bit do Pro controller. It looks like a PlayStation controller. On the Switch, and I do use the D-pad. Yeah, if I'm playing a 2D game, I use a D-pad. I'm not a
I kinda go
monster.
back and forth. I kinda go back and forth depending on the game.
Like, even if you do want an analog stick instead of a D-pad because you're some kind of a freak monster, even then, there's another analog stick.
Hey, you need 2.
Do you? I don't know. It's just funny. You can also get a USB version of this. So you just buy this and use it for PC games, but then you're only getting 2 face buttons. So I don't know. This one to me is very confusing. I don't really understand the point of this that much.
There's also shoulder and trigger buttons.
Right. Right. For the NES, for the Nintendo Entertainment System, it seems like, I mean, we're just throwing shit at the wall here, I guess. I don't really get it. Whatever. But if you want it, I mean, maybe you're going to be super happy with it. Maybe for people with accessibility issues, I don't know. That could work.
I wonder if something like this would be good for, like, Tetris competitions. I'm trying to think of a use case.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get it. But, it's available.
It's,
It's only
plus
$25.
shipping, yeah.
Yeah. One last piece of news. This is going to only appeal to very few people, but RetroFrog has released a flush-mounted PC Engine to TurboGrafx adapter for the controllers. So you can buy PC Engine controllers and plug them into your TurboGrafx. The problem is it's a different size pin. It's like a different size connector between the PC Engine and the TurboGrafx. So this just adapts that. There's no pin. The pins don't have to be there's no circuitry in here. So there's no latency issue or nothing. You just plug it in. It looks kind of nice. It kind of matches the colors of the TurboGrafx. It kind of just mounts to the front of your TurboGrafx. It looks kind of cool. So if you want that 6-button PC Engine controller to play Street Fighter or something like that, or you want an arcade stick that was only available in Japan, you could do something like that and play it on your TurboGrafx, and it looks pretty neat, and it's pretty cheap. I think it's $20.
Cool.
Yeah, and RetroFrog, I bought a couple of things from RetroFrog in the past. They make neat stuff. RetroFrog. That's it. That was a lot of news.
Yeah, and I skipped a lot. There was a lot of stuff where I was just like, "Nope, nope, 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 nope."
I don't know. I thought it was pretty fun though. There's some cool stuff coming. This, it's a fun time to be kind of paying attention to retro stuff. It's just so exciting. There's constantly new hardware coming. There's constantly new software coming. There's new ways to play old games. There's new kind of reinterpretations of old games. It's just constant. It's all over the place. It's fun.
What do you say to the people who are like, "Stop remaking old games and make new games"? What do you say to those people?
Aside from Naughty Dog, I'm pretty okay with remaking old games. I don't feel like it's like we're getting those instead of new games. You know what I mean? Naughty Dog, the remaster of Last of Us 1, I thought was a step too far because like they've already done it twice for that game.
Yeah.
But you know, whatever. Like ultimately, like I think part of the remaster for the PlayStation 5 version of Last of Us was like we just want a project to kind of get used to the PlayStation 5 hardware, which is, you know, hey, that's cool. That's a great game. It's fun. I think it's fun to play old games, even on new hardware, even in emulation, as long as the emulation is good. And when they do a remake, like a complete remake, like they're doing with
Super Mario RPG.
yeah, Super Mario RPG, I think that's great because it opens up that game to a whole new audience.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I get a little sick of it. I'll be honest. I get a little sick of it sometimes too. But overall, I'm okay with it. I like it. How about you?
I'm in the same boat. I mean, as long as it's not hindering them from new creative stuff, you know, I'm sure they have teams dedicated to remaking stuff where they seems like they outsource a lot of it to other companies
Yeah,
and whatnot, like Digital Eclipse and whatnot that kind of specialize in those kind of things. So
yeah.
it's not like they're being like, okay, let's take the Metroid 4 team and put them on fucking Super Mario RPG remake. You know,
You know what? We're
like,
canceling Metroid 5 so we can remake Metroid
yeah,
Fusion.
right. Yeah.
Jay,
Hagane.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I messed up. What can I say?
Now I know why this cartridge looks like this.
Somebody tried to fucking feed it to their gorilla.
Motherfucking son of a.
Jay, this game is hard, man. Like I usually like people say they're hard, but like at least you get through the first couple of levels, like you know, and like kind of try out this game is hard right from the get-go.
Yes.
Like
yes.
right like get through the first level, you have to like memorize enemy patterns. It
you get
is
hit 3 times, you're done.
Yeah, if you get hit 3 times, you're out. Also, this game, there is no button unused on the Super Nintendo controller here, and many of them are context sensitive. Like there's just a lot to get used to with this controller. Like with this,
Yeah, I went in
controller
and read the
scheme.
manual. Yeah, I found the manual online and read it.
Yeah, and some of the stuff is like weird. It's like you have a double jump, I guess you could call it, but it's not really a double jump. It kind of like you jump up in the air, and if you hit jump again at the apex of your jump, you just kind of like slide forward horizontally, which is like it's useful, but it's not like you know. There's a if you hit the triggers, your character does like a flip from one side of the screen to the other side of the screen. There's like several. I think is there 4 different weapons that you can control.
Yeah, I think so.
And right from the get-go, you can cycle through all 4 of these weapons, but you have to get ammo for some of them. So it's like you can't just like rely on any. It reminded me of Batman a little bit for the NES, but it's like.
Do you want to describe the game for those that
Yeah,
aware?
yeah. So it's a side-scrolling action platformer, I'd say. Think of like Ninja Gaiden, Shinobi. Yeah, stuff like that. But it's a level of complex, I think, that those games are not. Like it is just. Whereas, like, one of my favorite things about Ninja Gaiden is there is a jump button and there is a slash button, and then there's like you can use magic as well. But I mean, ultimately, you're just running forward and beating the snot out of things with a sword. This game there's shit coming at you from every angle. You've got dodges. You got 3 ways to dodge. You got 4 different weapons that you're constantly cycling through. You got a super button that like it's just a lot going on, and it is very difficult, but it is very pretty. Very pretty.
Oh yeah. You're in this like mech suit too, and I feel like they do a good job of making you feel like you're a ninja in a mech suit.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like the mobility is really high. The buttons feel really satisfying. Like the weapons, everything feels super satisfying and responsive. But
very responsive. Yeah.
it's like a Shinobi Ninja Gaiden game, but also mixed with a shmup. because there's like a lot of times there's a bunch of stuff coming at you at the same time on the screen.
Okay, I can
Right,
see
like
that. Yeah.
bullets and like think about the final kind of boss area of the first level, for example, the ship
Hmm.
that's like shooting stuff and dropping guys at the same time. And
Also, the way you have to kind of like memorize the shmup a little bit. You gotta
yeah,
kind of memorize where shit's coming from. Like you got to do that a lot in this game. Like I respect somebody who's good at this game. I did actually end up watching a full playthrough because
mhm.
I knew I was
Like a
never gonna
speed
be that
run.
person. It's just like a full like playthrough.
Sure.
And it was, it starts difficult and it stays difficult. But man, it's a gorgeous game from start to finish. It's dripping with style. The music is good. The artwork is just insane. It is so Japanese. Like on the screen right now, there's two like heads that are pistons and an engine that I believe is supposed to be Hagani's like heart, maybe. I don't know. It's weird. It's got like some weird 90s anime vibes for sure. It's cool though.
So this is also one of the top 2 most expensive games for SNES, not counting Aero Fighters, right? And also not counting like the Donkey Kong competition cart that's like a very special thing. This is one of the top 2 retail games. And one of the main reasons I watched.
Retail.
Oh yeah, I watched this video from SNES Drunk, and he covered because I've heard through the grapevine that this was a Blockbuster only release as well, and you had to get it through
Yeah,
that, which
that's
is one
like
of the
the
reasons.
story about this game. Is it was
Right,
only available at Blockbuster, and that's why all
rumors,
the
anyways. Yeah.
yeah.
So in like 2008, somebody came out with a video, or 2010 or something like that. Somebody came out with a video speculating or going off of the rumor that it was Blockbuster only release, right? And so back then it was like a $25-$30 cart, which back then is pretty expensive. But it jumped up to like 100 like almost overnight, and then it just progressively got more expensive. It's like an 800 to $1,000 cartridge at this point. And it's almost impossible to find one in good condition. To be honest. And this is one of those where like a beat up cart could be 600 and an expensive one could be over 1,000 kind of deal. Just for the freaking label. It's wild to me, but it's not. It is not a Blockbuster exclusive. There is no proof of any kind that it is. Like a game like Final Fight Guy, the box on the front says Blockbuster exclusive. In SNES Drunk, they go through like old Nintendo powers that talk about it. On the back of the box, it says for sale. Um, you could mail order it from different catalogs and magazines like that people had found. So it was like completely debunked that this was a Blockbuster only release. It was probably a limited release, right? Like there's not a ton of these out there. Um is 95's kind of late in the SNES lifespan as well, because
Yeah.
N64 came out in 96. And that probably had a lot to do with it, to be honest, or just I don't know, it just didn't get a lot of sales. But the game is fantastic, and yeah.
Yeah. It's hard though.
There's not a whole lot of other information. I was trying to look for like development interviews or anything really that gave interesting information about it, but really all I could find um was the Blockbuster stuff, right? Some people speculate that Hagani had a 4 to 6 month run at Blockbuster before it was released to other retailers, which is possible. But eh, I don't know. There really wasn't a whole lot of information out there other than what the game is that I could find.
I, how far did you get into this? Like, was your experience checking it, playing this one?
No comment.
Yeah, I know. I'm a little embarrassed too. I did not fare well in this one. This one really beats your ass. Like it
I
really
kind of
does.
I wanted to try like a Game Genie or something to see, because I used the
Just
cart. Like I
yeah,
was using the cart.
yeah, yeah. I didn't get too far in this one either. That's ended up being why I was like, I gotta at least see throughout this game, like just see what this game has
Right.
to offer. But it's just so brutally difficult. Like I could see you could definitely get good at this game. I don't think you got to be like a game master. You got to be like a gifted person to like beat this game. I think you just got to dedicate the time to learning the controls like intuitively, like so that they become like like I don't like the term muscle memory, but like so that you could you can respond to on-screen action with the correct control, because the controls, they're very responsive, but there's just your character's capable of so much that you almost get like you lock up, like because it's like you've got so many choices that you can't pick which one to use at any point in time. But also the enemies are just like, they're coming at you from all sorts of different angles, and they also often have somewhat unpredictable upon first, like when you first see him, it's like you don't realize this guy's gonna jump and throw a fireball diagonally at you. Like, oh,
right.
I thought this is the first fucking level. I thought he's just gonna run at me and I'd be like, swipe him. And then you also have
most
so many.
of them are not one hit either. Like a lot.
No,
of those
yeah, you
dudes
got
are
to
at
nail
least
them a couple of
hit.
times. And then you also have so many weapons that, like, just discovering like what is the use case for each of these weapons, like that takes a lot of time. So like I feel like with enough time you could get good at this game and really enjoy it. Sadly, I just I mentioned a little bit at the beginning of the show, this has been not an awesome month for me, so putting in a bunch of time to this game was not in the cards. But I could, like, it's not like you got to be like a game genie to get good at it. It's just hard.
The SNES drunk guy said that this, in his opinion, is the most difficult SNES game.
Wow.
It was top of his list. I mean, he's got a couple 100,000 subscribers. It's not like some random dude.
Yeah.
This is a pretty bold claim, but it's definitely up there.
Yeah, it's hard. It's cool though.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
it's
super
definitely
cool.
worth checking out. Probably not getting the cartridge for most of us, but by other means. This would be an awesome release for
The Switch Online.
Yeah. This
So
would
you
be
could
an
like
awesome
pause
release
it
for
or
that.
rewind it and like,
Oh man, that'd be
just
great.
to experience it. Yeah, just to experience the game.
Yeah, because there's so much cool stuff happening, and it looks awesome, and the style is amazing. Yeah, this is a cool game. Jay, what's the game for next episode?
I figured,
I'm
you
listening.
ripped the Band-Aid off of
Uh-oh.
the rare expensive games. I figured I'd kind of go along
Okay.
with that. I've been wanting to do certain games, but just really inaccessible games are hard, right? Um, as far as price and stuff. But I figured you did kind of the SNES Grail, so I figured I'd do the NES Grail.
Okay.
Do you know which game that is
Is it
off
gonna
the
be
top of your head?
Gimmick?
Well, that would be Japanese, but no. Gimmick's not an American release.
Oh, okay. I
I
don't
think
know.
it's a European release.
Don't know. Samson, little Samson. Okay.
Little Samson.
All right. Cool.
It's a little beat up, but this is the Grail. Like,
Is
this is
this
the
one available on
undisputed.
Switch Online?
No, I checked.
No, it's not. That's too bad.
Yeah,
That'd be another good one for Switch Online.
right. Yeah, just like the really inaccessible. It's another Taito game, which these are often underproduced. But this came out like I believe this came out in '92. Like, this was one of the last games that came out, and it's a solid platformer game.
Yeah, well liked.
Yeah, well liked. A lot of cool technology that they, it. A lot of people say it's kind of the culmination game of the NES, where they, all the stuff they learned, they put into this game over the course of the NES. So, again, not an accessible cart to have. I did not pay current rates for this game. I've had it for at least 5 years at this point, I think. But yeah, I figured, Briar chose one Grail. I'm gonna choose NES.
Just going back to back, full on. Like, just bring out your wallet, lay the money down. Who are you gonna play this on emulation? No, you got to get the cartridge.
Yeah, I don't even want to say how much it's going for right now. It's like embarrassingly.
How much is it?
I don't want to say. I don't want to say. It is partially dependent on condition too. So like mine, which has like some bubbling on the label, would not be going for.
You gonna make me go to price charting and look it up?
I genuinely don't want to say the number out loud.
I'm gonna say it, so you might as well get there before I do.
I'll let you do it.
All right. Woo! Boy, oh boy! Okay, so loose, it's $2,367.97 on price charting.
Average, yes. Mine would be the
Complete in
low.
box, it's $4,350. And new, it's $17,000. Man, if you get the PAL version, it's only like $250 though.
It's a bargain person.
Yeah, but you got to play it at 50 FPS.
I mean, even in 2010, like this was going for $100 to $200 back then.
Yeah, that's a lot of money to spend on a video game.
I think I got it in. Trying to think. I mean, I got it somewhere between 2016 and 2019, but I didn't even pay for going rates then. So
Oh God, my
it
bad.
was definitely one that sometimes prices are good enough that I put aside all reason and I go for it because I'm like, well, I'm getting such a good deal on it. It's hard to turn it down. Anyways, yeah, I really want to play through it and stuff and have
Yeah,
an excuse.
good pick. I'm looking forward to this
Yeah.
one.
Why am I bashful? Somebody asked why I'm bashful to say the price because it's a lot of money and I don't like to flaunt it around. And it's not an accessible amount to most people. And it wasn't to me for the longest time. And the only reason I'm even able to afford such things is because I've put years and years and years and
Robin
years and
Banks.
years of hobby time and resources back into my game collection fund and stuff. And gained a lot. Like I would not have spent the money on this if I didn't trade up for it, essentially. You know what I mean? Like spending the time to
Also, drug dealing.
no. No. I can't even joke about that, man. I got a lot of pickups and I tried to limit them. Like
Okay, let's see 'em.
talking about I think with this happens to me like cycles, right? I go through like a little
It's true.
seasonal
You did
depression
mention the
stuff.
other day you've been
Yes.
on it.
Yeah, so I go through a little bit of like a seasonal depression thing, and I think they going for Macari eBay deals is my dopamine. It's
People don't
my
get seasonal depression in the summer; they get it in the winter.
I never said I was a normal person, Brian.
Hey,
Seasonally. I get it seasonally.
oh, okay.
Um, I think it seems to happen a few times a year. Anyways, so I went online and I found some stuff and I did my typical like, hey, do you by chance have any more stuff that you're wanting to sell? I could do a package deal. And I've had like 3 of those in the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so one lady I bought like 20 or 30 game boxes from, another one that's not even here. It's like 30 games. Um, a lot of them I'm gonna flip or trade or whatever, but um, these game boxes, I basically picked out the ones that I didn't have, and I'm not even gonna show most of them. So I have a bin here, and I'm gonna try to go through them quickly. There's like 14 games here. Um, I'll start with some card only stuff. So Adventure Island 3 for the NES. This is one of the more rare ones. I want to get this complete in box at some point. I have the first 2 complete, but starting with the cart. I believe this was a pretty late game as well. This is Hudson Soft as well, which was the creators of Hagani. So I don't typically go for like limited run stuff either, but I was presented with the opportunity to get this for a good deal,
Oh yeah.
which is the Mega Man 30th anniversary. This is like the official one. We were talking about Capcom earlier. So
It's
the carts
got
are
the light blue cart.
it's just like a white cart, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Um, I don't know. I like Mega Man just as a character, and the price was right for this, and it was in really good shape, so I picked it up. Um, I got this Kirby Superstar. I got a bunch of Kirby stuff actually, so I'll go through the Kirby stuff. So this is for the Super Nintendo. This is kind of a more rare title as well. I had the cart, but I didn't have the box for it. So other ones, this I need to pick up. Some of these I need to still pick up the cart. So this is Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland for Game Boy Advance. I need to get the cart for that. It's got all the inserts on it. Kirby Tilt and Tumble. We mentioned this earlier. Now on Switch Online, I now have it complete in box. So pretty stoked. This is one that I've been looking for years. Uh, at a decent price, and I finally got it, Kirby's Dream Land 2, but it is the Player's Choice Edition. But the price was so good that I mean I couldn't pass it up. Let's see here, some other Game Boy Advance games: Mario Power Tennis and Mario Party Advance. Complete in box. Pretty stoked about those. Bomberman Pocket for Game Boy
Oh.
Color.
Is that like a
Well-
real Bomberman game, or is that one of like the Bomberman kind of adventure games?
It's a real Bomberman game.
Like
for
an
sure.
overhead view grid
Yeah.
Bomberman game?
Yeah.
No, it's a side-scrolling game. Okay, so it's not a.
Oh, it is a side. You're right. New side-scrolling Bomberman game play offers explosive action in 2 different modes: normal and jump. Anyways, okay.
I guess nowadays I could just play like any Bomberman game on a pocket, so all Bomberman games are portable.
True. Metal Slug Advance, which is a more rare one.
That's supposed to be good.
I need to get the cart for it.
Oh, okay. That game is supposed to be good. I've never played it, but I've heard it's pretty neat.
Metal Slug games hold up really well on like 16-bit platforms, I feel like, because that's basically what they're made for. So
How dare you?
yeah.
The Neo Geo is not a 16-bit console. Is it?
Is it? the Metal Slug was very much in that
Time
style,
period?
though.
Yeah. I mean, it no,
It might be
the Super
it might
Nintendo
be-
could not have done Metal Gear or Metal Slug justice.
It might have been 32-bit.
Yeah, I don't know actually.
It's in
They
the
didn't-
style of 16.
I don't know if they really
Somebody
advertised
said
them.
it's like 24. That makes
24-bit.
sense.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like 16-bit style, but smoother and a little bit more.
So many more
better
pixels. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It was Metal Slug looks amazing on a Neo Geo.
You'll appreciate this. Street Fighter Alpha 3 for
Yeah,
the
I
Game
have that
Boy
game.
Advance.
Yeah.
You have this game?
Mm-hmm.
I got Ghostbusters 2 complete in box for the NES in like minty shape.
That does look good.
It has all the inserts and stuff. I'm pretty sure it's a different game than the first one. You remember how terrible the first one was?
Yeah. Like
It's
famously
bad.
bad. Yeah.
This one I think is actually a decent game.
Yeah.
So,
The Genesis
But I-
version, I've been kind of keeping my eye open for the Genesis version of Ghostbusters because that was a pretty good game. That's
I
great
just
box art, I gotta
just
say.
with all the characters on the front, because the first one
Yeah.
it just has the ghost,
Yeah,
right? So I don't know, it's kind of like the movie.
pretty
And
good.
then this is another one that I've been looking for years. I thought I had this in my collection for years, and then it turned out I didn't. So I paid about market for it, but I've been looking for it forever. Final Fantasy Legend 3.
Interesting.
So now I have I think every single Final Fantasy game for Game Boy and Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color I think I own now. Anyways, so that's like those are the highlights. That's not even everything. Those are just the highlights. Did you get any pickups?
No, I was pretty much pickup free this time around.
Yeah. I have more on the way too. So I also got a mint inbox Xbox, like the original Xbox.
Oh, you know what I did get, but it's unfortunately it's downstairs because I've been reading it. Is you know how I get that subscription to the Video Game History Foundation? They send
Mhm.
you one old video game magazine a month. I got a Nintendo Power, and the cover was for Ninja Gaiden. I was pretty psyched about it.
Is it the red one, the guide? Because didn't you get that one too?
I got a guide for Ninja Gaiden 2, but the cover was for Ninja Gaiden. I was pretty psyched about it.
It's an older one. That's awesome. I got
Yeah,
on Eastar Land, I was able to pick up the Tetris Nintendo Power, the one that has
neat.
it's like issue number 9 or 7 or something like that. It's really beat up. And then I got the Super Nintendo guide book that has like all the games in it and highlights and everything.
Oh, that's fun. I like
They're
that.
like $15 or something, so it was cool.
Yeah, I really like that Video Game History Foundation magazine subscription. I think that's really fun.
I liked it too, except like I mainly got it hoping that I'd get Nintendo Powers, and I think I got 2 in 2 years, and like a lot of the other stuff was just stuff I wasn't really interested in.
Yeah,
So I canceled it,
that's
but
fair.
had it for a while.
All right, so next week we'll be playing. I already forgot the game. God damn it! It's Little Samson. Little Samson for the NES. I always like going back to the NES. I still enjoy NES games. I think especially like coming off of Hagani, which was so complex, right? There's just so much going on. It'll be nice to get back to an old 2-button game. Run and throw shit at somebody.
Basically, yeah.
And jump and throw a rock.
Jump and throw shit at somebody. Yeah.
Thank you, Jay. It was always great seeing you. Are you going to be on the show on TCP this Thursday?
Yes, I will.
That's
be.
excellent.
Yeah.
So I'll see you on Thursday. We'll see you on Thursday. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in 2 weeks on RetroSlot. Bye.
Thanks, bye.